why not sit back, relax, and take things easy like a Sunday morn. I'm your host, Shane Lockwood. This is episode 83, and today is Tuesday, the 7th of July, 2020. Thank you for downloading this episode. This is basically an attempt to break the drought between episodes. It's been a few months since my last episode. There's a lot going on, and every single day of 2020 has been a mental body blow. Really a lot of personal attacks. Seeing people, good friends, sharing racist and just ignorant memes and things like that on social media, and then other people justifying it when you call them out on it. False accusations, and it's just craziness, absolute craziness. People showing their true colours, what they really think of me and you, and it's not pretty at all. It hasn't been pretty at all. So for me to do a podcast where I'm talking about, sitting back and relaxing and taking things easy and stuff like that, felt rather hypocritical at a time when I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it myself. The hardest part for me is not recording this podcast. The hardest part is not being overly critical and just saying, okay, that's enough, I've done, and then uploading it for you to listen to. I've recorded this over and over time after time, because I wasn't happy with a little piece of it. I don't want to go into negative territory. I don't want to talk about all the horrors that are going on around the world as we speak, as I speak, and as you listen. There's a whole heap of stuff that's going on that is beyond my control. It's madness, absolute madness, right? It's infuriating. It's anxiety-inducing. It's stuff that will make anybody afraid. And then for me to say, oh, let it all go, it just doesn't. It comes across as insincere and tone deaf and insensitive to. But I also know that there are people who like the sound of my voice. I don't like the sound of my voice. I don't speak for the sake of hearing myself. But I'm doing this for them. I am not arrogant enough to think that this podcast will make a difference, but I don't know. I don't know. The listening figures over the last few months have actually gone up, of people downloading previous episodes for whatever reason. I don't know. But I'm grateful for that. So what I'm going to do, just a very short video. I'm not going to go into all my personal nonsense, the stuff that's gone on, the personal attacks, the gaslighting of people saying, oh no, it didn't happen. That's a nice person. Oh, they wouldn't do that. And hang on, you've just seen them attack me. Why are you still defending them? There's a whole heap of gaslighting going on for people justifying the worst of human behaviour. I'm not going to go into details, because this isn't the podcast for that sort of thing. But what we're going to do, and as my gift to you, is explain this podcast, and then we're going to do some relaxation exercises. This podcast, the purpose of it was, not initially, but eventually, you guys sort of pushed it in this direction, was to find the tranquility of a very, very early Sunday morning when people had to go to work. No, before people have to work or go to church or mow their lawns or whatever. before any of that, before the dogs start barking and all the stuff that people do, right? All the busyness and all the dramas and stuff of a Sunday afternoon, they haven't been started yet. But on a Sunday morning, it's very, very tranquil. The idea is to envision that tranquility and then incorporate it into your life. Maybe extend it out to this Sunday afternoon when you've got to prepare for the working week and prepare your meals and wash all your laundry and all that sort of stuff. And then letting go of all the past, letting go of all the future. And this is where the breathing exercises begin. Make sure you're relaxed on your couch, sofa, armchair, whatever. Or if you're lying in your bed, get really comfortable, have a bit of a wiggle. Make sure you fluff, that's not a word, fluff your pillows, and make sure you are nice and relaxed. If you're sitting down, you might have a beverage in your hand. Just take a sip or two and slow your breathing down, right down, slowly letting go of all the dramas, the ice cold beverage, doesn't matter, I don't know what it is. Or maybe you prefer like a warmer coffee or a cup of tea or something like that. But and it can be alcoholic beverage, doesn't matter. As long as it's if it's a beverage like a beer or something like that it needs to be, cold at the end of the day. That sensation. And it takes your mind off everything, right? We want that sensation. I'm going to slow everything down, closing your eyes. You're breathing in through the nostrils. Breathing out through the mouth. Don't force it, just breathing in. Slowly, breathing out, slowly. Just being aware of what you're doing as you're going along. Up and down, up and down. And just slowly relax, slowly letting go of all the dramas, of everything in the past, the stuff you couldn't change, right? The stuff that's happening overseas, the stuff that's happening locally that you can't change, and the stuff that you could have changed but didn't. Let go of all the guilt, let go of all the numbers of people that are being affected by a global pandemic, because you can't change that. You can only look after yourself and those around you. Let go of the future and all the anxieties. Just let them drift away. Just give yourself a space, give yourself time. This is your time. Focus on your breathing. Breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. There's a whole heap of stuff going on. I can't control any of it. Any of it. The stuff that I can control, and I have controlled, and I have exerted myself and stood up for what is important. There's a lot of stuff that I do need to stand up and be counted for. Very, very basic stuff. Very, very basic stuff. In a world where everybody wants to gaslight everybody and twist things and say reality isn't real. Like, quite literally, I had that conversation online. This guy was saying, you can believe whatever quote unquote reality you choose, and it's like, no, reality is reality. Like, you can't change facts. But anyway, thank you for all those who begged me to do this. I really, really appreciate it, and I really appreciate people that check in and do little things. what I'm going to do is just end this here. I know it's relatively short for what I do, but I'm going to use the code word SMART, S-M-A-R-T, and the idea of the code word is just to let me know that you've listened to the whole show. And the contact details for this podcast are in the show notes. Just leave the comment use the word SMART in a sentence somewhere where I can see it, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, in the Facebook group, or in an email or wherever, doesn't matter. And that will let me know that you listened to the whole thing. For now, there's a whole lot of stuff that I can talk about, but I'm going to leave it and let it go until next time. And I want to be a little bit more positive and uplifted and that sort of thing. But thank you very much for listening, and I'll catch up with you next time. The code word is SMART, SMART. Bye for now. Take today, the rest of today, and the rest of the week easy like a Sunday morn. Bye.